Top 10 Most Hated Country in the World. Most people hold opinions about different countries, influenced by factors like government actions, cultural and religious aspects, and even tourist behavior. These opinions can range from positive to negative. Some countries are generally liked, some are accepted, and some are actively disliked. Please, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment on the country that should be in this list. Number 10. The United Kingdom and France. Although unexpectedly found on certain lists of disliked nations, have historical ties to colonialism. In past centuries, both countries engaged in extensive colonization, conquering various nations and civilizations worldwide. During this period, the conquered territories often faced exploitation, with the ruling nations extracting wealth, natural resources, and even people. Although the era of expansive empires has ended, some people still harbor resentment towards these countries for their colonial history. Number 9. Iraq. Iraq shares a significant level of global animosity with Iran. The foundation of the terrorist group ISIS/ISIL in Iraq is a major factor in this negative perception. While Iraq's government is known for authoritarian rule and human rights abuses, ISIS surpasses these offenses, engaging in mass executions, car bomb attacks, and using captives as human shields. Iraq's history, particularly under Saddam Hussein, includes state terrorism, ethnic cleansing, genocide, assassinations, lawless secret police, and torture. Number 8. Iran. Similar to Pakistan and Israel, Iran faces criticism for numerous human rights abuses and a tendency to provoke conflicts with countries of different religions. Accusations of sponsoring terrorism further contribute to the negative sentiment. Concerns also exist regarding the potential diversion of assets from Iran's nuclear energy program for clandestine development of nuclear weapons. Number 7. Pakistan. Several reasons contribute to the negative perception of Pakistan. Firstly, it possesses nuclear weapons, setting it apart in the Middle East. Additionally, the country is considered a breeding ground for terrorism, with groups like the Taliban and Al-Qaeda carrying out frequent bombings and militant attacks resulting in numerous casualties. Law enforcement in Pakistan often goes unchecked for human rights violations, and secretive court proceedings with questionable outcomes lead to frequent death sentences. Accusations of systemic oppression against women, religious minorities, transgender individuals, and the LGBTQ+ community are common. The government's stance against free speech includes arresting those who speak out against it. Number 6. Israel. As the only Jewish majority nation globally, Israel is located in the Middle East and is embroiled in a territorial dispute with Palestine, a Muslim majority country, over land considered sacred by both religions. This conflict has led to widespread resentment towards Israel from many Muslims worldwide. Israel is also criticized for leveraging its strong support from the United States to engage in questionable actions. Concerns include the handling of Israeli settlements in Palestinian territory, treatment of Palestinian refugees, the use of targeted killings to eliminate perceived threats, usually Palestinians, and the secretive accumulation of nuclear weapons. Number 5. North Korea. North Korea faces widespread dislike primarily because of its authoritarian government's suppression of its own citizens. Led by third-generation dictator Kim Jong-un, the country exerts significant control over every aspect of its citizens' lives. All media is state-controlled, limiting access to government-approved content on TVs and radios, and citizens are denied access to the internet, except for the government-controlled internet. The government assigns people their jobs, leaving them with no say in their profession or position. Leaving the country requires government permission, and despite high poverty levels, North Korea allocates a considerable portion of its limited income to military development, including a nuclear weapons program. Number 4. USA. While many Americans might find it surprising that their country is on the most hated list, this sentiment is not shocking to Asians or Europeans. Similar to China and Russia, a significant reason for the negative feelings towards the US is its tendency to overstep in trying to influence international events for its own benefit. Criticism arises from the frequent deployment of troops to other countries, Vietnam, Panama, Afghanistan, Iraq, etc., and perceived political assertiveness, which may appear as oppression or bullying in the eyes of people from other nations, especially when supporting questionable regimes in oil-rich countries. Number 3. Saudi Arabia. As an oil-rich nation, Saudi Arabia is governed by an authoritarian and dictatorial regime that follows a strict, violent, and misogynistic interpretation of Muslim doctrine. Human rights, particularly for females, face significant repression. The country has severe penalties for homosexuality, and overall LGBTQ+ rights are among the worst globally. Additionally, Saudi Arabia is accused of incubating terrorism, being the birthplace of groups like ISIL, Al-Qaeda, and the Taliban. Its highly militarized stance and alleged war crimes during the 2015 action in Yemen further contribute to its negative image. Number 2. China. China is also widely disliked. Governed by an authoritative regime, it faces criticism for controlling businesses, corruption, forced labor, and environmental issues. The government's refusal to grant independence to regions like Hong Kong and interference with Taiwan's sovereignty efforts add to the negative sentiment. Additionally, China's strict internet control is notable. Number 1. Russia. Russia is often considered the most disliked country globally. President Vladimir Putin's pursuit of reuniting former Soviet republics and the country's inclination towards military conflicts contribute to this negative perception, especially with neighboring nations like the 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Including Russia's alliances with controversial figures such as Syria's Bashar al-Assad and North Korea's Kim Jong-un, contribute to its negative image. Here are all the list of the most hated nation in the world. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching.